Isn't it a beautiful church? It's hard to believe that almost a year ago it was in peril. Sacred Heart was about to experience its own mini natural disaster, our own hurricane, if you will. But amazing things can happen when the Holy Spirit brings people together, and that's what we'd like to talk about today. Thank you for your time. You're a very special group. You are the supportive community of continuous givers, the key investors in Sacred Heart's past, present, and important future. You are the reason that Sacred Heart can serve the community, one another, and God. Sacred Heart, the church and our parish, play a rich and important role in Grosse's history. And today, Sacred Heart has become an important part of your family's spiritual history. It is your spiritual and sacramental home to celebrate Mass, the wonder of Christmas, and the glory of Easter. It's where your babies were baptized, your children received First Holy Communion, and were confirmed. Perhaps you were married here, or your parents renewed their vows. Sacred Heart is where you learn the faith, sing with the choir, worship, comfort, and pray with friends. You know that Sacred Heart will always be there for your family, and now Sacred Heart needs you. The structural beam damage was unpredicted and unprecedented, and once thoroughly investigated beyond what anyone could have imagined. But something amazing happened. People rallied, experts stepped forward, volunteering countless hours, now make that months, to investigate the problem and formulate the best solutions. People like you doubled up, ponied up, and declared that you can count on me. When we hurriedly removed from our church to the gym last May, we began to understand the reality of what it might be like to lose our beloved church. My aha moment was when an African missionary came to Sacred Heart on a hot day last summer to celebrate Mass in our relocated sanctuary, our gym. I was humbled and amazed as he spoke about the devotion of his parishioners who would walk 12 miles just to attend Mass in a simple shelter with dirt floors, remaining there for 8 hours celebrating confirmation. It was a real wake-up call as I stirred uncomfortably in my folding chair in that repurposed gymnasium. I realized then and now how really blessed we were at Sacred Heart and how important it was to preserve and protect this home. For all of its inconvenient, expensive, worrisome, and seemingly insurmountable ways, the Holy Spirit had a plan. This mammoth project has brought our parish together in ways unimaginable before. We're beginning to better understand folks like Detroit's I Am My Brother's Keeper, who despite a gaping hole in their roof, and no matter how harsh the weather, that church tends to the community to provide spiritual nourishment and a sanctuary for the homeless. Something special happened in that gym. Maybe we understand and appreciate it all just a little better now. Something special happened in that gym. The Holy Spirit found people who had never worked and served together before. Where there is a kingdom need, a kingdom provision will be found. We have been blessed. It was a great unknown. How would we make this work? The Archdiocese was fantastic. A committee from Sacred Heart met with the consultors, presented our plans, and were mercifully supported by the Archbishop to continue our work in preserving and protecting our parish home. The Archdiocese demonstrated their confidence by extending a loan to Sacred Heart for our repairs. So what exactly is a church's capital campaign? For a church, a capital campaign is not simply a financial plan, but rather a spiritual one, and we firmly believe so. The most important ingredient in the success of a capital campaign is the same ingredient required for a vibrant faith community. It is a sense that we are all in this together, shared sacrifice, thick or thin, pitching in, cheerleading, and sharing. So you're probably asking, where do I fit in? I'm here. I'd like to help. Well, thank you. The giving has already begun. There has been tremendous faith-filled generosity shown already. Hours, dollars, expertise, and prayer. A team of more than 25 volunteers on Sacred Heart's building and fundraising committees who have pledged their commitment through their expertise in finance, engineering, architecture, and more have guided this monumental project. They've all added up to a terrific beginning. As Catholics, we encourage prayerful consideration of how God would have you respond to this need. The Holy Spirit had a plan. That's what brought all of us together. That's what inspired those who gave the seed money for our initial investigation and repairs. That's what brought the team of volunteers together. And that's what guided the Archdiocese of Detroit to grant our loan. The first thing we're asking of you is to share the message of this important campaign. The power of your example. It is powerful. Be an ambassador. Continue to be a trendsetter, a pace setter for the parish. Encourage others to join. You are a powerful tool in our success. All of us on the fundraising and building committee are leading with our example and taking that first step by pledging our financial support. We are putting our money where our mouths, hands, and hearts have been for the last 10 months. Father Mike is pledging. We've had over 200 families prime the pump with last year's donations, but now we need to get it up and running full speed ahead. The baskets and the beams, and it's really important to understand this. As a matter of fact, if you leave with just one essential message, it is this. Our success will be in two parts, preserving our weekly offertory gifts, our baskets, and generating incremental income in the capital campaign to cover our beam repairs. We can't have one without the other to be successful. It is critical to continue with your regular offertory and other gifts for the day-to-day operations of our parish, its programs and ministries. We need your additional financial pledge, as it is critical to paying back our Archdiocese loan for the beam repairs. To make this easier for you, we have rolled this year's CSA into the capital campaign. We will not ask you for an additional CSA contribution this year. We will accept cash, check, and new this year, credit cards via PayPal at sacredheartgi.org. We've also set up an electronic funds transfer program where an amount will be automatically deducted from your designated bank account. It's very easy. You may set that up at the parish office. Other creative ways to fund the campaign include stocks, bonds, CDs, and gifts of real estate. You may pay in one lump sum over 3 years or something in between. If your circumstances change, we'll work with you. $873,000. It's achievable. The Archdiocese of Detroit and Sacred Heart experts have studied our financials, our trends in giving, our Changing Lives Together donations, and are confident that we can meet this goal. We have 3 years, but the sooner we repay the loan, the less interest we incur. 900 families. Imagine the staggering results if everyone participated to the most generous ability. You get it. Clearly you do. You are givers of your time, your talent, and your treasure. This capital campaign is all-inclusive. We are asking all parishioners to participate to the most generous possible way. And that will look different according to personal circumstances. Osceola McCarty was an 87-year-old black woman in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, who spent 75 plus years eking out a living, washing and ironing other people's clothes, but she scraped and saved and ultimately endowed a $150,000 scholarship fund for African American students in need. Nobody, except Osceola, would have ever thought something like that was possible. Know this, every donation is important at every gift level, whether that's a $100,000 lump sum or $1 a day. It's about shared sacrifice. This illustrates the number of donors needed at each pledge level to achieve our goal. You can eat this elephant in any way that works best for you and your family. Some of us are sacrificing a daily Starbucks or Diet Coke to make it work, while others have the means and calling to join us at the heritage level. We are hopeful that some will even be legacy donors. Take a moment. Where do you see yourself contributing to this campaign? The weekend of March 21st and 22nd is Commitment Weekend, when we will ask all parishioners to present their pledges. The pledges are an important gauge of our campaign, allowing budgeting and forecasting, and aiding you in budgeting for your commitment. We are hopeful for a very committed Commitment Weekend. Pledge cards and information are available in the parish office and will be mailed to your home. Committee members are available to answer any questions you may have about the repair process or the capital campaign. We will soon celebrate 100 years as a parish. Please consider celebrating your family's place in our history with a pledge to the Sacred Heart Capital Campaign. Matthew Kelly has a post-it note on his desk that reads, "Something wonderful is about to happen." I believe something wonderful is about to happen. I believe it for my life, I believe it for your life, and I believe it for the life of the church. I pray that you and I will make ourselves radically available to God so that He can use us to make it happen. You see, God doesn't necessarily use the most talented people. He doesn't necessarily use the people in positions of power and authority, and He doesn't necessarily use those who are best educated. Very often, education, power, authority, and talent can become the prideful impediments that keep us from doing God's work. What type of person does God always use in powerful ways? Whom has God always used throughout history to do His work in the world? The people who make themselves available to Him. God uses those who make themselves available. How available are you willing to make yourself to God? Thank you for spending a few moments learning about how you can continue to be a part of history at Sacred Heart.